This is Twit.
Reuters reports Apple has told manufacturers it will cut orders of the iPhone 5C for the final 3 months of the year. Investors reacted positively to the news, as it seems that they think it means the higher-priced iPhone 5S is selling in greater numbers than expected. Canaccord Genuity analysts said the iPhone 5S is outselling 5C by 2.5 times to 1, boosting Apple's margins. Reuters source said Pegatron had their orders for the 5C cut by 20%, and the Wall Street Journal reports that Foxconn had their orders for the 5C cut by a third. Analysts point out that the complexity of the supply chain means that a cut in manufacturing may or may not mean a decline in 5C sales.
Square Cash is officially open to anyone in the U.S. with an email address. You just send an email to a recipient with cash@square.com in the CC field, and then the dollar amount in the subject line. If you and your recipient are both new to the service, you both get an email from Square with a link to a secure website where you enter in your debit card number. You just have to do that once, and then it's in the system. After that, those funds will be transferred in 1 to 2 business days. It is free to send and receive. However, you are limited to sending $2,500 per week.
The Cupertino City Council unanimously approved Apple's new Spaceship Campus. The new Apple headquarters will be 2.8 million square feet and house over 14,000 employees. By regulation, there is one more vote on November 15th, but that's considered merely a formality. Construction of Apple's new home should start by the end of the year.
Ubisoft SA stock fell the most it ever has after announcing that the highly anticipated video game Watch Dogs, as well as the game The Crew, would not be released in time for the holiday season. Ubisoft predicted an operating loss of 40 to 70 million euros, causing shares to fall as much as 32%. Ubisoft has increased its focus on making high-quality titles, even if that means fewer releases.
Twitter's filed an amendment to its S-1 filing with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, confirming it's going to file its initial public offering on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol TWTR. Thank goodness it's not TWIT. CNBC reports the company roadshow will begin on October 25th. The network also reports Twitter's expected to price after the markets close on November 14th and to debut for trading on November 15th.
Sony has officially introduced the A7 and A7R full-frame mirrorless cameras after they were leaked earlier this week. Sony says these are the world's smallest and lightest interchangeable lens full-frame digital cameras. The $1,700 A7 tops out at a resolution of 24.3 megapixels, while the $2,300 A7R can take 36.4 megapixel stills. Both are available for pre-order right now, but will ship in December.
Intel's earnings beat analysts' estimates but remained flat year over year. The company's reported revenue of $13.48 billion and earnings of 58 cents a share. Analysts had expected $13.47 billion and earnings of 53 cents a share. CEO Brian Krzanich announced the 14-nanometer Broadwell chip will be delayed until the first quarter of 2014. Broadwell will mean devices that are thinner, faster, lighter, and with longer battery life. But the delay in the Broadwell chips will not delay its successor, the Skylake chip.
Researchers from the University of Buffalo in New York have tested an underwater Wi-Fi network in an attempt to make a deep-sea internet. The team says the technology could help to detect things like tsunamis and create a lot more reliable warning systems. Unlike normal Wi-Fi, which uses radio waves, the submerged network technology utilizes sound waves, which provide a better option than radio waves. I mean, just go ask any dolphin. They'll tell you the same thing. The challenge now with wireless communication underwater is getting separate systems used by different organizations to communicate with each other.
Akamai's State of the Internet report is out. Among the findings, Indonesia bumped out China for the top spot as a source of malware, with 38% of the malicious traffic to China's 33%. U.S. still stuck with a measly 6.9%. Global average peak connection speeds rose to 18.9 megabits per second. The fastest place on Earth is Hong Kong, with an average 65.1 megabits per second connection speed. Most interesting to some in this report, though, is that for the first time since 2008, port 445, the Microsoft DS file sharing port, is no longer the favorite port for attackers. What are they after now? Well, it's the HTTP port 80 and SSL port 443 taking the honors. Attacking via the web is now more popular then Windows. We've truly moved into the cloud.
Attacks to the cloud. According to the Financial Times, Amazon is working with HTC to build the mythical Amazon smartphone. The two are working on a number of phones, with one in an advanced stage of development. The Financial Times says a timetable for a release is not locked down, but an Amazon phone could be launched next year.